The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This short story is part of Stephen Graham Jones's broader body of work, which often explores Native American identity, cultural conflict, and the darker aspects of human nature. The Buffalo Hunter is a poignant tale set in a grim and unforgiving landscape, heavily influenced by Jones's mastery of blending horror with social commentary. Plot Overview. The protagonist, a man who has dedicated his life to tracking and killing those who hunt buffalo for sport or profit, is the central figure of the story. He calls himself a hunter, which highlights the unique nature of his mission. He is not merely a hunter, but someone hunting down individuals who threaten the ecosystem and culture by exploiting the buffalo. The story dives into his personal motivations, revealing a mix of rage, duty, and a deep connection to the buffalo. To him, the buffalo are more than just animals. They are a symbol of the Native American way of life, a creature whose near extinction was tied to the destruction of indigenous cultures. His quest, therefore, becomes one not just about killing those who harm the buffalo, but about fighting for the preservation of a legacy that is under threat. Themes 1. Cultural preservation. One of the strongest themes of the story is the protection of Native American culture and the symbolic role of buffalo in that culture. The buffalo, in Jones's narrative, represents much more than an animal. It is a central part of the survival and identity of many indigenous peoples. The hunter is a figure who symbolizes resistance to the forces that seek to erase Native American cultures and traditions. 2. Moral ambiguity. The protagonist's role as a hunter introduces moral complexity. He is killing other hunters who may themselves be justified in their actions, though their targets, the buffalo, are an endangered species. This blurs the lines between hero and villain, challenging the reader to question what is truly right or wrong when it comes to protecting nature and heritage. 3. Survival and identity. The protagonist's fight is not just for survival, but also for the survival of a way of life. The tension between individual survival and cultural survival runs throughout the story, creating a deep sense of urgency and existential struggle. His actions may seem violent, but they stem from a deep-seated belief that the survival of his culture depends on preserving the buffalo. 4. Environmental destruction. The story also reflects broader environmental themes, particularly the destruction of natural resources for profit. The buffalo's near extinction serves as a metaphor for the broader environmental destruction caused by exploitation, something that is tied closely to the colonial history of the United States and the mistreatment of indigenous populations. 5. Existential rage. The protagonist is driven by a deep, almost existential rage. It is not just about justice for the buffalo. It's about the pain of watching a part of his heritage being destroyed. This anger can be seen as both a personal and collective response to centuries of oppression, erasure, and exploitation. Sirung. Writing style. Stephen Graham Jones is known for his vivid, concise prose, and in The Buffalo Hunter, this style is on full display. His narrative is haunting, often blending horror elements with stark realism. The setting itself, the harsh, vast landscapes, mirrors the internal struggle of the protagonist. Jones's ability to fuse elements of genre fiction with cultural critique gives the story a unique intensity. Hugan. Horror and suspense. While the story deals with deep emotional and cultural themes, it does so through a lens of horror and suspense. The sense of danger is palpable, with the protagonist constantly on the move, hunting down his prey. There's an air of mystery surrounding the story as the reader is drawn into the protagonist's psychological state. He is not just a killer, but a man torn between his duty and his emotional turmoil. Conclusion. At its core, The Buffalo Hunter is a meditation on loss, violence, and the fight for survival, both on a personal and cultural level. Stephen Graham Jones combines horror with social commentary in a way that makes the story feel urgent and relevant, even though it may initially seem like just a simple tale of retribution. The protagonist's actions are driven by a deep belief in the importance of the buffalo and the cultures that depend on them, making this a powerful story about identity survival and the cost of preserving what is most sacred. Ultimately, the story leaves readers with much to reflect on: the relationships between humans and nature, the destruction of cultural identity, and the ways in which one person's fight for survival can be both violent and noble at the same time. The tone is dark, but the message is one of resistance and perseverance. Making The Buffalo Hunter. Both a gripping narrative and a thought-provoking exploration of cultural and ecological preservation.